play wing mostly, some center, kind of all around. Playing varsity this year. I also like to play other outdoor activities, video games, stuff like that. Outside of school sports, I'm also involved in my family and friends and all that other stuff. I'd like to go to college at CU or CSU. I'll play in college if the opportunity presents itself. Obviously playing basketball. In 10 years I see myself going to school for business, hopefully looking to start one. My favorite subject in school is history because it relates to everything that's going on today. My favorite movie is Escape Plan. I like the movie because there's a lot of action and it keeps you thinking. Last summer I played a little travel ball and hung out. My goal for this season is to stay healthy and improve from last year. My goals for life are to not work too much and have no regrets. What I will remember most about being a sailor is the teammates I've met. Jake Kreisig Jr., proud to be a sailor.
That was your Steamboat Sailor Spotlight on 105.7 KTYV Sports on FM.
Hey, Sailor basketball fans, PJ Wharton of Yampa Valley Bank here to thank you for supporting our hometown basketball team. Yampa Valley Bank is proud to support all of our student athletes and to sponsor this broadcast of Steamboat Sailors basketball on KTYV Sports on FM. Steamboat High School Athletics are an example of our genuine hometown. Yampa Valley Bank, genuine hometown banking. Enjoy the game and go Sailors!
This is Skip Deardorff from Alpine Lumber here in Steamboat Springs. Alpine Lumber is a Colorado company and is committed to being the best supplier of materials and related services to the professional builder and homeowner throughout the year, offering lumber and building materials, hardware, paints, and ceramics. And we are proud to support Sailors basketball. Easy to find Alpine Lumber, located on Pine Grove Road past Walgreens. Alpine Lumber, employee owned and operated, contractor's choice, the homeowner's choice.
Well, Jason, I've got to tell you, you're pretty much everything this company is looking for in an entry-level candidate.
Great.
Your resume isn't quite what we're used to, but you've got a fantastic work ethic.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed by how you carry yourself.
So, should we talk about the job?
What? The job? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no way of recruiting or even meeting you. This interview didn't happen.
It may sound ridiculous, and that's because it kind of is. There's a huge pool of talent your company's missing out on. Meet the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Oh, man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
It's time now for your Steamboat Sailor Spotlight on 105.7 KTYV Sports on FM.
My name is Josie Flint and I'm a junior. My number is 33 and I play post. I've played basketball for 4 years. I also like to play soccer. Outside of school and sports, I am involved with NHS and Model UN. I'd like to go to college somewhere on the West Coast, and I will not play sports in college. In 10 years, I see myself having a job, hopefully. My favorite subject in school is math. My favorite movie is Surf's Up. I like this movie because of Chicken Joe. Last summer, I went to France. So in France, I saw the Women's World Cup, and America won. Woo! Go USA! My goals for this season are to score points and not let points in, and let George not get mad at me. My goals for life are to have a job somewhere and have a family. What I will remember most about being a sailor is all the good times we had as a team. I'm Josie Foote, a junior, and I'm proud to be a sailor.
That was your Steamboat Sailor Spotlight on 105.7 KTYV Sports on FM. Steamboat Sailors Basketball on KTYV Sports on FM is brought to you by Valley Bank.
Alpine Lumber, Celebration, Mountain View Car Wash, Steamboat Ace Hardware, Yulee Auto Salon, Mountain Mattress and Furniture, Steamboat Resorts by Window Vacation Rental.
Oh, yeah, Group with Colorado Group Realty.
Steamboat Sailors Basketball on KTYV Sports on FM at 105.7 and SteamboatRadio.com.
One time, that guy tried to tell Coach Alston he was
Now let's go to the booth for the call of Steamboat Sailors Basketball.
Warm Saturday afternoon here in Glenwood Springs. I'm Lowen Epstein in the booth with Ryan Hansen. Sailors boys basketball about a minute underway here in Glenwood as they take on the Demons in a very electric, very high-strung conference matchup. Sailors and the Demons have historically had some battles going back and forth. Both sides of the stands completely filled today. It's going to be a loud one. It's going to be a fun one. Both teams knotted at zero here. Ball's poked away. Lindquist is able to catch up to it. Lindquist inside, and it's stolen away. He was looking for Pollard. Will Navarez doing a good job there of staying on his defensive haunches as he takes it inside. Navarez at the top of the key. He's going to spin in between a defender and pick up a foul. And it's a blocking call against the Sailors. So this one goes against Pollard rather. So Pollard gets called for his second of the game. He got called for one earlier before we were on air. And so 2 now for the big man. Here's Navarez. Dribbles it off his knee. They're going to say it was last touch by Steamboat. Glenwood going to retain possession. Connor Hansen checking in the game. He's coming off the bench today. He joins Cade Gideon, Dawson Lindquist, Jake Kreisig, and Ethan Piles as the other 4 on the floor for the Sailors. Ball goes out of bounds in the Glenwood offensive zone. They're going to award this one back to the Sailors. Steamboat coming off of a big win, Ryan, against Liam McKinney and the Battle Mountain Huskies. This Glenwood team with Navarez is another beast to be reckoned with. What do you think they need to do here today to ensure that they come away with a W?
Yeah, I mean, we saw it in the last game against McKinney, especially. The Sailors had a really nice game plan that kind of canceled him out, and once they canceled him out, it was pretty easy for the Sailors to cancel the rest of the team out. So maybe taking an approach like that with a player, someone like Mitchell Burt, maybe John Yulee, because those are about two of their leading scorers, and where the ball usually is coming from. John Yulee, a really nice ball handler. He's got a pretty big frame, so he can kind of move people around a little bit. Maybe just cut off the leaders of the team and then see what happens from there.
Sailors back on defense, still scoreless here with 5:15 to play in the first. We saw this from the Sailors. They weren't able to put a whole lot of points on the board against Battle Mountain in certain quarters, but they bounced back and came away with a 55-point victory over them. Here's a turnaround, Jay, in the paint. That one from Will Navarez, a little bit too short. So now the Sailors with Gideon working. Black line 3 from Piles, and he's feeling himself early. Ethan Piles puts him on the board with a deep three-point shot, 3-0, and he's one away from matching the Piles count. That's 4 today. Navarez guarded by Hansen. He's going to hand it off to Mitchell Burt. Little zone defense here. Navarez into the corner. He goes, and the bucket good from Will Navarez. Baseline jumper there. 3-2. Gideon, top of the key. Swings it to Hansen. Hansen working, finds Piles. He drives in, trying to create space. He's guarded by A.J. Adams. Now he dishes it to Lindquist. Pump fake. Jay on the way, no good. Nice little move there from Dawson Lindquist. What'd you think of that?
Yeah, that was a nice little, kind of got out there like he was going to hit him with the killer crossover, brought it right back in.
Hansen catches up to the loose ball and knocks it home for 2 more. Sailors go up 5-2. 3:55 to play in the first one. Here comes the Demons back on the other end. Gabe Kimbrau going to handle it for them.
He creates some space, runs off of a screen, and the shot's going to be pulled down by the Demons before finally getting stolen away by Gideon. So the Sailors working left to right on your radio dial, going to slow it down here. High-octane crowd, and Piles is going to take it to the rack and get fouled. Ethan Piles putting on for the City. He'll go to the free throw line for a couple. Big muscles for the senior. We love him, don't we, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, we were talking to him this morning. Obviously, Glenwood game, he's probably thinking he's going to score quite a bit of points. We go, Ethan, how many points are you expecting tonight? What's the Piles count? Looks at us right in the face and says, 4. And I mean, so far, a really solid approach. He hasn't taken any awful shots, and I mean,
he could match it right here. Second free throw, short. So he goes 0 for 2 from the line. Sailors still hanging on to a 5-2 lead. It's going to be Navarez and company back on the other end for the Demons. At the top of the key, it's Gabe Kimgrau. Kimgrau hands it over to Mitchell Burt. Burt, one of the seniors on this team. He's been starting since he was a sophomore. Now in the corner, Mitchell Burt, as we were talking about him, splashes home the three-point shot. 5-5. We're knotted. 3 minutes to play in the first. Piles to Hansen. Hansen for 3. Tees it up and knocks it down. Connor Hansen, you bet. And that's a nice thing to see, Ryan, especially since the past couple of games. Hansen's been one of the colder shooters for the Sailors. He has not been able to connect lately. Against Battle Mountain, he had a bad game, and against Rifle he did too. So for him to get back on the board, that's a great thing. Is he the leading three-point shooter on this team? He is, right?
Yeah, he's the leading three-point shooter barely in the Western Conference right now. He has the most made as
just barely in front of his teammate Ethan Piles. As driving in for a floater attempt is John Yulee. Yulee gets it back and tried to shoot the 3. Mitchell Burt pulls down the rebound, and Burt's able to connect on the second attempt. I got to tell you, Ryan, I really like these GSHS uniforms that Glenwood's rocking, the old school style, the all white with the red pinstripes and the red numbers. Here's Hansen getting a man to bite on the pump fake, floater no good, shovel pass out of bounds. And will it stay with Steamboat? It will. Piles getting set to check back in the game, as is Dawson Lindquist. Jake Kreisig checking out, as is Cade Gideon. So a little platoon change here for the Sailors with 2:08 to play in the first quarter. Now Hansen going to switch with Piles as he'll actually inbound it from the far side. Ethan Piles getting an earful from the student section of Glenwood Springs. He'll inbound it right in front of the cheerleaders. Piles gives it inside to Lindquist. Lindquist is going to try to post up, and the up and under will be enough to draw the foul. Dawson Lindquist going to head to the line and shoot 2. Foul's going to be called on Will Navarez.
Dawson Lindquist coming into the game like someone insulted his footwork. He's kind of breaking into his bag a little bit, showing off some nice moves, getting that contact, using that Mac Lineker hook elbow to get around right there and draw the contact.
Let's talk about that for a moment. Mac Lineker, let's put the cameras on him in the gym today, and man, that's big. That's like a celebrity coming in watching your game, and he had a big game last year against the Demons. Really, every game of his career was big. Lineker now playing down there in Grand Junction at Mesa for Mesa, and he's redshirting this year, so he's actually not going to get any minutes, but I think that they're excited about the bright future they have for Mac Lineker going forward, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, they've got a lot of athletic talent down there and pretty good young players. I mean, it'll be a really solid team to watch.
Turnaround jumper from Adam Schrader is going to result in another opportunity at the free throw line. This time they get Piles on the foul, his first of the game, and the Sailors already kind of getting themselves into foul trouble. They've got 5 on the afternoon thus far, 1:38 to play here in the first quarter still, and Schrader misses the first one, second one falls. So it's a 2-point game. Sailors lead 10-8, and Gideon's going to check in for Hansen. So Connor Hansen takes a breather. Glenwood going to call off the Dogs. No more full court press for them. Gideon works it to Piles. Piles around the horn, finds Lindquist inside. Lindquist fakes the pass, finds Piles again. He runs off the pick, kicks it back to Lindquist. 3-ball on the way. That one's got too much on it. And now a tie-up under the basket as Gideon gets involved with Will Navarez. And they're going to award this one to the Demons. 1:14 to play in the first quarter. Granger Rowan going to check out. Eric Pollard with 2 fouls checking back in. So now Patrick Young and company, A.J. Adams, doing their due diligence on offense as well. Top of the key, around the horn. A.J. Adams for 3, no good. Pulled down by the Sailors, and Lindquist and company back the other way. Dawson Lindquist crosses over into the corner. Piles thought about lining it up. Instead, he goes up and under, trying to make a Kyrie-esque play at the basket, and that would have been cool if he got it. 40 seconds to go here in the first frame. Patrick Young, baseline. Gets it to go.
Cade Gideon trying to slide in there and draw the charge, but just a little bit too late on the rotation.
Young, the senior. Gideon now taking it back for the Sailors as they're knotted at 10. 10-10 with 15 seconds to play after 1. Gideon at the top of the key gets the notion from his coaches, and it's a little play action from him and Piles, and Gideon can't get the layup to fall. A foul is going to be called here on the ensuing rebound, and it goes against the Sailors. So who do they get there? It's Eric Pollard, and now he's got 3. That's something to keep an eye on. Pollard with 3 fouls after 1. Final couple of seconds going to run off here. A shot from Bird is not even close, and that'll do it after the first quarter. Sailors and the Demons tied at 10 here in Glenwood Springs. Want to say a quick shout out to some of our sponsors here on 105.7 KTYV and on the World Wide Web at steamboatradio.com. For Ryan Hansen, I'm Lowen Epstein.
The Yampa Valley Bank, the Yampa Valley's only locally owned bank, member FDIC. Alpine Lumber, employee owned and operated, the contractor's choice, the homeowner's friend. Mountain View Car Wash, helping the Sailors clean the competition between town and McDonald's on Highway 40. Russell's Auto Salon, your premier full-service auto body shop where you always meet by accident. Russell's Auto Salon, 879-1515. Steamboat Ace Hardware, the helpful place for hardware, plumbing, tools, grills, garden, and more by offering customers knowledgeable advice, helpful service, and quality products. The Paoli Group, if you're searching for your own prime real estate, give them a call at 870-0552.
25% of the way done here in Glenwood Springs, mid-Saturday afternoon in a primetime rivalry matchup. I feel like Kevin Harlan on TNT is. This is a big-time game, Ryan. What'd you like after 1?
I mean, one thing we really saw from both teams is that they are really excited to play this game. They're looking to up the tempo, but both teams also did a really good job of actually kind of slowing it down and working it, and we saw both squads get open shots just from working it through their offense, and that kind of shows these are 2 really good teams facing off today.
Piles tried to nutmeg the defender. He's going to get that one stolen away. Now John Yulee back on the other end. Yulee steps up, takes a 10-foot jumper. That one's hard off the back iron, and Gideon's there for the board. Sailors tied at 10. Kreisig handles it in the corner. Kreisig cross court to Gideon. Steals it away, almost loses it. Back down we go to Kreisig. Up top to Piles. Now a whistle called, and they're going to say 3-second violation on the Sailors. So they get called for the time warning. That's a big turnover there. You can see Coach Van Dahl's frustrated. And Granger Rowan and Connor Hansen, 2 sharpshooters, getting set to check back in the game here. Sailors kind of gone away from their identity of heavy 3-ball shooting here in the first. Nice little duck under pass for Mitchell Burt, and he gets the bucket to fall. 12-10. Gideon top of the key. Swiftly, he's going to work over to the near side. Now it's Jackson Metzler. Metzler to Gideon on the ground. He has to go to his knees to recover it. And the one-hand shot put pass is going to be knocked out of bounds by John Yulee. Timeout Sailors. And you can tell Coach Vandal not a fan of what he's seeing here thus far in the second. Big crowd here today in Glenwood Springs, and that's not usually typical, Ryan, for these weekend games, as Glenwood Springs faithful have made a very strong showing here today. A lot of these Glenwood Springs fans actually filling into the away section. Steamboat doing their duty as well, and a lot of parents have also made the trip down.
Solid, probably what, one and a half bleacher sections we got going on over here?
Probably about something like that, yeah. I think solid ratio we got going of Sailors fans to Demon fans. Always good to see the hometown crowd showing out. 12-10, 6:33 to play before halftime. Gideon's going to handle it at the top of the key. Gideon crossover dribble. He's got Yulee on him. Runs off the pick into the corner. Hanson steps up, loses the dribble. He's going to stutter set back over to Gideon. Near side top corner. Rowan at the top of the key. Down low to Lindquist. Lindquist almost loses it. He's going to get teed up now by Navarez and just pull this one out. Hanson again, this time on the far side. Now to Gideon. Lindquist. Kreisig. Gideon again. 3-ball. Rims out. Halfway down before it came out there. Tough shot for the freshman. 12-10, Sailors still trailing by 2. Patrick Young into the corner. Now to Burt. Rifles one inside, and the layup's good from A.J. Adams. 14-10. Hanson in the corner working. The dead shot senior. Sends it over to Lindquist, the slasher. He's at the top of the key looking for space. Bounce pass over to Gideon now. The freshman sensation handling it. Now it goes to Granger Rowan at the top of the key. Rowan sends it away, and it's stolen. Home run ball for the Demons, and John Yulee is there to finish it off. 16-10, Sailors down by a couple now. Hanson. Near side top corner, down low to Gideon. Nothing doing here for the Sailors. Stolen away again. It's Yulee back to back on the rack attack. 18-10, Sailors struggling. Haven't seen this in a while. Gideon at the top of the key. Calling for the screen. Little give and go here with Rowan. Finds Hanson in the corner. Wraparound pass. It's turned over again. This time it's Mitchell Burt with the steal. Burt into the corner. Yulee almost teed up the 3. Instead he drives in. The short 2-pointer, no good. And the Sailors catch a break there. Inside, Lindquist makes a man miss and then draws the foul. Dawson Lindquist with 2 at the free throw line.
Third foul for the Demons right there. I mean, Sailors with 6. They did a pretty good job of kind of reeling it back and not getting in too much foul trouble. Eric Pollard with 3, though, sitting on the bench. That's a big rebounding presence lost.
Metzler and Piles checking back in the game. You're absolutely right. The lack of Eric Pollard on the floor is definitely going to play a big factor in this one. It already has. Sailors have not been doing their regular work along the glass, and that's a big reason as to why. 18-12 as both free throws fall for the Sailors. It'll be John Yulee, the senior, taking it up the floor now for the Demons. He's guarded by Hanson. Yulee sends it down into the corner. Bounce pass. Here's Navarez inside, posting up, back out, and a charge going to be called against Yulee. So John Yulee getting called for the offensive foul. That'll be his first one of the game. And now the Sailors down by 6 catch a big break there. Gideon spins it. Hansen, top side, guarded by Yulee. Gideon bounce pass, it's Piles inside. Jay from Hansen, that one's blocked. And the ball's on the floor. Able to recover it is Lindquist. He went head-to-head with Yulee. And a foul's going to be called against Dawson Lindquist. Now, that was a tough play. I mean, that was a very physical play. Yulee and Lindquist just collided. And I'm surprised they call Lindquist on the foul there.
Yeah, Lindquist was the one with the double team on him when he kind of lost the ball there.
So the ref's going to have a discussion, decide they made the right call, and the Demons are going to inbound it now. It's going to be John Yulee. So Yulee looks over, finds Patrick Young. Young, the senior, immediately picked up by Jackson Metzler. Metzler now going to run off a pick. Wide open shot for A.J. Adams. He didn't take it. Instead, it's going to be worked around back to Blake Niels-Lanik. Niels-Lanik can't hit the wide open layup, and flying in for 2 is A.J. Adams with the putback. 20-12. Sailors just have not been able to score. Here's Piles. Let's see if he can change the demeanor. Piles near side, top corner, top of the key. He'll dribble with his left. Sends it over to Metzler. Back to Piles. Piles looking for somewhere to go, and a timeout's going to be called by Coach Vandal. His team only putting up 12 points thus far, and you can see the frustration in his eyes.
Yeah, I mean, coming out, a team like the Sailors used to scoring about 12 points a quarter about on average, but just coming out here, just this Glenwood zone, they've done a really good job of kind of packing in low, and then their 2 top guys coming out to kind of match around to all the shooters, and it's taken away a lot of Steamboat shots, and it's really made them slow down their offense and make way more passes, which as we saw a couple possessions back, John Yulee back-to-back steals to the layup just because that up-top pressure that they're doing is helping them so much. Even if it's an offset with 3 Sailors players, that pressure that they're putting on is still so dominant.
So the Sailors looking to make some adjustments here, down by 8, 20-12, 2:16 to go before halftime. Piles dances with it, kicks it to the corner. Lindquist going to eye up the 3 ball. He'll turn around, then drive back in with his right hand, gets to the rack for 2. And that's the most aggressive play of the day from the Sailors, and it comes from the senior Dawson Lindquist in crunch time. Patrick Young going to hold it. Young guarded by Kreisig. Haven't seen anything from him today. Works it over to Mitchell Burt. Burt into the corner. Here's Young again. Up top, Navarez inside. Floater no good from Yulee. Rebound pulled down by Connor Hansen. Hansen on the floor with it, kicks it away. Lindquist now over to Kreisig. Kreisig drives in, loses it, and a foul is called here against the Demons. Reach in against Glenwood.
Mitchell Burt.
So Mitchell Burt gets called for his first one of the game. Sailors now going to inbound it. Little pass here from Piles to Kreisig, and the volleyball play is able to work. Sailors now only trail by 4, 20-16.
Dawson Lindquist did a great job sealing down low. Everybody thought he was getting the ball. Jake Kreisig coming up top.
Burt rising above, trying to get the shot to fall. That one won't go. Too much mustard on that. Kreisig sends it to the corner. Hansen tees the 3. No good. Burt with the rebound. 1 minute to play. Burt going coast to coast. His shot blocked, and Connor Hansen with a great defensive play to cap him before he came off the ground. What's that saying, Ryan? Hands low.
Hand down, man down?
Hand down, man down. Exactly what we just saw right there as Hansen puts the cap on Burt's shot, and the Sailors get it back on offense. Hansen far side top corner, dishing it in between Gideon and Piles. Gideon loses it on the floor. Piles corrals it in the corner. He's got A.J. Adams on him. Baseline pass, it's on the floor, and Navarez and company come away with it. Turnover Sailors, and the charge on the other end for A.J. Adams. Steamboat loves that.
Wow.
Who took it?
Cade Gideon sprinted all the way from the top of the three-point line straight under the basket to meet A.J. Adams, who is much bigger and coming from full speed at half court. Got set right before contact and drew the charge.
20-16, final 20 seconds to go before this one goes to halftime. Here's Gideon. Top of the key. 10 seconds. Countdown commences. Here's Piles. Piles drives in. Loses it. His shot blocked. And A.J. Adams is going to flex his muscles in front of the hometown Glenwood crowd as he sent Piles' shot into the stands. Buzzer sounds, and that's halftime, folks. Electric outing here for both teams as the Sailors are going to head to the locker room down by 4. 20-16 for Ryan Hansen. I'm Lowen Epstein on 105.7 KTYV and on the World Wide Web at SteamboatRadio.com. Keep your dials locked because this is a fun one. We'll see you after the break.
On KTYV Sports on FM is brought to you by
Celebration, Mountain View Car Wash, Steamboat Ace Hardware, Russell's Auto Salon, Mountain Mattress and Furniture, Steamboat Resorts by Wheaton Vacation Rental,
and the Taylor Group with Colorado Group Realty.
Steamboat Sailors Basketball on KTYV Sports on FM at 105.7 and SteamboatRadio.com.
Hey, Sailor basketball fans, PJ Wharton of the Yampa Valley Bank here to thank you for supporting our hometown basketball team. The Yampa Valley Bank is proud to support all our student athletes and to sponsor this broadcast of Steamboat Sailors basketball on KTYV Sports on FM. Steamboat High School Athletics are an example of our genuine hometown. The Yampa Valley Bank, genuine hometown banking. Enjoy the game and go Sailors!
Hi, this is Grace. My parents own Hot Stuff Hearth and Home and proudly support the Steamboat Sailors. We feature all things heat, fireplaces, stoves, outdoor living, and more. Call them today at 879-7614 to schedule a service appointment with one of our expert technicians or a free in-home estimate for a whole new look. Hot Stuff loves my Steamboat Sailors basketball and is happy to keep this valley safe and warm. Hot Stuff Hearth and Home, located just off Highway 40 next to Walgreens. Go Sailors!
The Steamboat Sailors are on the air.
Steamboat Sailors hockey is set to play in a late game tonight against Mountain Vista after a long weekend of games this past weekend. The Sailors are looking to bounce back after dropping a tough one to Chaparral on Monday. Sailors hockey is made possible by Yampa Valley Bank, Alpine Lumber, Mountain View Car Wash, Russell's Auto Salon, Steamboat Ace Hardware, the Paoli Group, Celebration, Steamboat Resorts by Women Vacation Rentals, and Mountain Mattress. Steamboat hockey tonight with the pregame starting at 6. The games can be streamed on YouTube or heard on KTYV 105.7.
Steamboat Sailors Ice Hockey on KTYV Sports on FM at 105.7 and SteamboatRadio.com.
Okay, men, time to be an all-star caregiver. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments. Be there emotionally and physically. Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find care guides at aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
It's time now for your Steamboat Sailor Spotlight on 105.7 KTYV Sports on FM.
Hi, my name is Katie. I'm number 11, and I'm a senior this year. I play shooting guard, point guard, and I also like to run cross country and play lacrosse. Outside of school and sports, I'm also, actually, no, I don't have a life outside of school and sports. I would like to go to college at School of Mines, probably. I think. I'm really not sure yet. That's a hard question. Will I play in college? Probably not. In 10 years, I have no idea where I see myself. I can't even figure out where I want to get to college, so my favorite movie isn't Spider-Man Homecoming anymore. I found a new movie. I saw Spider-Man Homecoming, by the way. Something About Mary. I think it's called Something About Mary. No, is that the name of the movie? movie? Can we look this up? It's something like that. It's the funniest movie I've ever watched. Please go watch it. Last summer, oh my gosh, I went to a nerd camp at School of Mines, and it was the greatest experience ever. Absolutely loved it. And my goal for the season is to be able to play. I tore my ACL in April, so I hope that I am able to get back and play this year. And my goals for life are to be happy. And what I remember most about being a sailor is my time with my team, all the team dinners that we've had, and all the opportunities they've taken to make fun of me. My name's Katie. I'm a senior in high school, and I'm proud to be a sailor.
That was your Steamboat Sailor Spotlight on 105.7 KTYV Sports on FM.
Steamboat Ace is a proud sponsor of the Steamboat Sailors. That's not the only way Ace supports the kids in our community.
Hi, Bridget here from Steamboat Ace. We are so proud to be a part of the Steamboat community. It's our priority to support and encourage positive activities and hobbies for our youth.
How do you do that?
In addition to local scholarships, ACE invites the sailor community to fundraise for their activity or club by providing a great venue and supplies to host a hot dog or bake sale.
I love it. Every weekend I can shop at Ace and support a great cause.
Steamboat Ace, you're proud to support the Steamboat Sailors shopping place.
Hi, this is Cindy Hike, owner of Celebrations and Steamboat Arts on the 8th block of Lincoln Avenue. We recently added a new candy store and pottery painting studio for individuals or groups of 12 people or less. Check out our new additions to the arcade. We have air hockey, dig dug, and Galaga. Book a party online today at steamboatcelebrations.com or call 879-3333. Mention this ad and receive 2 free tokens. I'll see you at Celebrations, 831 Lincoln Avenue. Open daily, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sundays, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Reactions to smart financial decisions brought to you by feedthepig.org.
Well, I finally did it. I opened a 401k.
So you're giving up? Just like that?
Giving up on what?
I'm getting an inheritance from a distant relative.
Don't you think if there were a billionaire in the family, we'd know about it by now?
Listen to me. We are one phone call away from riding horses on our own private polo grounds. One call from christening yachts, having a butler, using summer as a verb.
How do you figure?
Look, everyone's got a rich uncle somewhere. It's statistics. So the best thing you can do is just prepare for the inevitable.
Right, which is why I thought maybe it would be smart to take control of my finances. You know, start using a budget, get out of debt, set some retirement goals.
Budgets? Debt? You watch your mouth. Retirement shouldn't be a goal for us. It should be a way of life.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
It's time now for your Steamboat Sailor Spotlight on 105.7 KTYV Sports on FM.
Hi, I'm Rose Epstein, and I'm a junior at Steamboat Springs High School. I'm number 32, and I play the post position. I've played since middle school and all throughout high school so far. I also like to mountain bike in the summer and hang out with my friends. Outside of school and sports, I'm also involved in helping my brother who's special needs. In 10 years, I see myself in school, just working probably and trying to make a living. My favorite subject in school right now is math, probably because it's a challenge, but I also really like it. My favorite movie is Bridesmaids because it's all I can always laugh. Last summer, I mountain bike raced like every weekend, and it was super fun. My favorite race was probably Powderhorn because we had a lift service access, and I got second place. My goal for this season is to average more points than I did last year, probably 2 points a game. What I'll remember most about being a sailor is all my friends I made and the sports that keep us a family. I'm Rose Epstein, I'm a junior in high school, and I'm proud to be a sailor.
That was your Steamboat Sailor Spotlight on 105.7 KTYV Sports on FM.
The team of Mountain View Car Wash and Detailing Professionals is proud to be supporting sailor sports this season. Whether a basic wash or a full detail, we know that the key to providing you with excellent service is teamwork and attention to detail. So while the sailors are focusing on cleaning up the competition this season, we'll be focusing on cleaning up your vehicle. With affordable washes and a wide variety of detail services, we have the game plan to fit your budget and needs. We are located at the corner of Highway 40 and Trafalgar Drive. Mountain View Car Wash, where there are no Hail Marys, just awesome touchdown dances.
Managing local land involves balancing resources such as agriculture, water, and wildlife. I'm Brian Ripley, and I have over 16 years of experience managing ranch resources as your neighbor here in Routt County. I'm the ranch ranch and rural property specialist for the Paoli Group with the support of Colorado Group Realty. Put your trust in someone that has the practical experience and knowledge to help you with all of your ranch, rural, and equine property needs. I aspire to help you reach all of your real estate goals. I'm Brian Ripley, and you can find me at thepaoligroup.com in the ranch division.
I'm Terry. And this is Phil from Russell's Auto Salon. If you need help with your auto collision repair, we make it easy. Just bring me an email and a claim number, and I'll take care of the rest.
Russell's Auto Salon, Colorado's premier collision center, leading the industry and technology, where we've gone green with Enviro-based paint, and we are proud supporters of Steamboat Sailors Sports.
Russell's Auto Salon, where we always meet by accident. 879-1515.
Russell's Auto Salon.
879-1515.
Hey everybody, Rachel Ray here. Nothing brings a bigger smile to my face than cooking up a big meal for the whole family and lots of friends. But there's not enough room at my table for the 17 million people in our country who struggle with hunger. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network collects surplus food to give hope to hungry babies. But they can't do it without your help. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
This is Steamboat Sailors Basketball, brought to you by Yampa Valley Bank, Alpine Lumber, The Quarter Slice, Mountain View Car Wash, Russell's Auto Salon, Steamboat Ace Hardware, UC Health at Yampa Valley Medical Center, Chris Pump at Downtown Edward Jones Office, Steamboat Resorts, by Winter Vacation Rentals, Mountain Mattress and Furniture.
Now, let's go to the booth.
Let's go to the booth for the call of Steamboat Sailors Basketball.
Excited to welcome everybody back into a thriller here in Glenwood Springs, Colorado. Sailors boys basketball team currently trailing 20-16, now 22 after that bucket from John Yulee. Sailors boys had a pretty tumultuous first half, Ryan. Not their best. Kreisig 3 on the way. That one's short. Not the scoring output you would like to see. Their starting center, Eric Pollard, got in foul trouble. I mean, what do you do if you're the Sailors to just kind of rebound and bounce back here in this second half, Ryan?
Yeah, I know we agree on this, you and I. Just one of the main things they kind of fell behind in, and it was really noticeable that just about anybody watching, was the fact that they weren't rebounding nearly as well as they typically do. Of course, given Eric Pollard had 3 fouls and was on the bench, but ratcheting down that rebounding especially is going to be a huge key for them in the second half.
So Pollard comes back in the game to start this second half. Gideon and company handling and moving right to left on your radio dial. Dawson Lindquist going to step out, cross-court pass. That one saved by Gideon, and he throws it away into the arms of John Yulee. Yulee, and kickball violation goes against Ethan Piles. So the Sailors on defense now needing to work. Here's John Yulee, the senior. He's going to inbound it from the baseline. Into the corner he goes, finds Mitchell Burt. Burt going to send it inside now. Eye up the 3-ball baseline jumper from Navarez, and that one's too much. Ball's on the ground, rebound Sailors. That one's Lindquist. So a good job there from the Sailors to stay with it. Lindquist is going to draw a whistle here, as are they going to get Yulee for the foul? And indeed they will. So John Yulee gets called for the reach, and I'm sure the Glenwood Demons are happy to see the fouls reset. They got themselves into some issues in that last half, Ryan.
Yeah, and I mean, the Sailors are a pretty good free throw shooting team, so once they enter that bonus, it's dangerous territory to be in for any team.
So Pollard throws it away. Mitchell Burt's able to get the steal. Burt loses it now, and a travel's going to be called on him. Sailors looking to capitalize off the Burt turnover with 6:27 to play in the third quarter. Here's Gideon at the top of the key. Now it's going to be Piles near side top corner. Works it over to Dawson Lindquist. Dawson Lindquist going to drive in. Stutter step. Foul called here. It goes against Glenwood Springs, as that is going to be a reach. Lindquist got his eye poked, it looked like. Hansen will check in for him. So the second foul against Burt, and it comes early in the third. Piles inbounding. Up top, Gideon, touch pass to Hansen. 3-ball on the way. That one's got too much power on it. Kick it back out again. Hansen corrals this time the layup, and he can't touch that one either. So Connor Hansen misses the three-point shot and then the ensuing layup. Sailors going to retain possession as Will Navarez touched it out of bounds. Piles again. Hansen in the corner. Wrap it around the horn. Hansen again inside. Pollard baseline. And that one won't go on the floor. It's a tie-up. Burt comes away with it. John Yulee to Burt in the corner for three. It's Young, you bet. And that's a big bucket for the Demons. They go up by 9, 25-16. Sailors got to do some work here. Hansen far side top corner. Steamboat's putting up 49 points a game. They've got 16. Hansen to Piles for three. Too long. Too long and too strong on that one. And Ethan Piles wishing he had it back. 25-16, 5:12 to play. Yulee to Young, and he draws the foul. Patrick Young, number 13 for the Glenwood Demons, is going to head to the free throw line.
Eric Pollard with his 4th foul of the night. I mean,
wow.
5:05 left in the third. That's something you usually don't see out of Eric Pollard. Typically, he doesn't rise above 2 fouls, really.
Kreisig has been pretty silent, too. Jake Kreisig, he's frustrating only because he's so inconsistent.
Exactly.
And when he is hot, he's the best player on the floor. Just nothing doing thus far. Burt for three. That one misfires. Gideon gets the board. So 25-16, the Sailors trying to make quick work. Hansen corrals one in the corner. He's going to take it with his left hand now up. Crossover dribble. Find Linquist on the inside. Linquist 2 steps into the paint. Duck under and the layup for 2.
So I'm talking about those post moves. Dawson Linquist breaking out a couple he hasn't tried in game before.
25-18. Linquist piling him on. John Yulee up the floor for Glenwood Springs. Yulee finds Adams. Adams now back to Young. Young's going to pump fake, find Yulee near side top corner. Now he shovel passes it to Burt. Outside to Navarez. Finds Young again in the corner. He'll drive in. 10-foot J. Buries it. So Patrick Young with the knockdown mid-range jumper. Piles trying to answer. Hansen to Gideon. Down low to Linquist. Linquist steps in. Linquist with nowhere to go. They work it around the horn. Metzler for three. Can he get him going? No. Rebound Gideon. Foul called here. And Gideon with a great job of drawing it that time. It'll go against Battle Mountain, and the Sailors are going to get it back. So 3.5 to play in the third. Linquist going to inbound. Granger Rowan checks in. Piles checks out. Here's Hansen at the top of the key. Hansen dribbling. Stolen away. That one's tipped up and into the arms of Yulee. Yulee, fast break attempt, and Reed Swanson, the sophomore, with the baseline jumper. 29-18, Sailors down by 11. Not looking good here. Hansen for three, and Hansen with the breath of fresh air for the Sailors. 29-21, back to an 8-point game. Need another stop here if you're Steamboat, as Patrick Young's going to handle it. Top of the key. He's got Gideon guarding him. Young crossover dribble, drives in with his left, shoots it outside to Navarez. Now Navarez dishes to Burt. Burt inside, finds Young. Young's going to come up. Outside to Navarez, back to Young, gets a man in the air, puts up a shot, and that one's short. Navarez, second attempt, and the end, one play falls for Will Navarez. That one got the crowd on their feet. One shot here for him, trying to make it a 3-point play. Kreisig checks back in the game. Linquist going to check out.
that's something that's kind of been happening tonight as well, is that Jake Kreisig is a big energy player, and I mean, when he's in the game and things are flowing and things are going well, you know he's balling. But I mean, when things are not going exactly how you want to, if he isn't getting those minutes, or if just about anybody on the team isn't getting those minutes to really get into the flow of the game, it's hard for him to make an impact. So hopefully Jake Kreisig will get enough minutes to make a big impact.
Hansen again, that's water, as he hits from way downtown for another one. 32-24, Sailors trying to climb back into this one. Here's John Yulee. Yulee to the rack. Foul called here against Steamboat. Pollard on the bench with 4. This time it's Metzler. Lindquist and Piles both getting ready to check back in here at the scores table, as John Yulee has a couple at the free throw line. First one hits, make it 33-24, back to a 9-point game. Metzler and Gideon, the two young bucks, going to take a seat on the bench. Yulee in the pressure cooker. He'll have one more. That one's off the back iron. Navarez there for the board. Sends it back outside. Shot blocked from Kreisig. He got a finger on Reed Swanson's ball, and that one's tipped out of bounds. Yulee and company going to get it back for Glenwood. Granger Rowan checks out. Gideon goes back in. Yulee up top. Burt for 3. Hits it.
The designed inbounds play for Burt nails the 3 from the top of the key.
And as soon as you think you're back in it, Glenwood's going to make you think otherwise, as they're going to have another fast break opportunity here. Yulee got his shot blocked by Hansen, and Burt came in for the second attempt. That one's good. Connor Hansen went high up in the air and took a hard fall onto the ground. But Mitchell Burt was able to capitalize, and the Sailors, with the light beginning to dim, down by 14. 1:21 to play in the third. What do you think, Ryan? I mean, this is a surprising outing for the Sailors. I thought it would be a lot more highly motivated.
Yeah, one thing that kind of stood out to me was just kind of how John Yulee especially is just dismantling the Sailors' defense on fast breaks. John Yulee isn't the fastest, most agile player on the court, but he does use his size to his benefit, and he kind of gets into him with his big body, and then he can finish around that. And he's done a really, really good job on fast breaks of finishing the layups and drawing contact on a lot of them as well. Dawson Lindquist, on the other hand, though, we saw him come out of the game with an eye injury there for a second, a little bit of a scare, but luckily the Sailors have him coming back onto the court. He's been probably easily the best player today. He's been really working hard, bringing out some nice post moves and grabbing quite a few boards as well.
And Pollard has been the biggest blemish on this team thus far. 4 fouls for him, and just not having him on the floor, you can see what it does to this Sailors offense. There's no more middleman there, as Lindquist airballs a 3. Gideon with the rebound, and he can't get the second attempt to go. Bird and company. Sailors need a stop. Yulee on the crossover. Sends it to Swanson. Back to Yulee. Piles dives for it. Yulee sends it inside, and that's a travel called against Glenwood Springs. Adam Schrader gets the whistle for steps. So 38-24, let's paint a picture. It's a 14-point game. Glenwood Springs High School, 42 seconds to go in the third. The freshman Cade Gideon near side top corner with the ball in his hands. Now it's Piles to Gideon for 3. You bet. 11. It's cut down to 27 seconds on the clock. Navarez handling. Reed Swanson inside. Here we go for Young, and he gets called again for a travel. It's Schrader once more. So Adam Schrader, the senior, getting called for steps on 2 back-to-back occasions. Sailors have a chance to cut this lead down even more. Up by 11, Glenwood on defense. Gideon again from deep. Too hard. Lindquist with the board. Ball's loose. Out of bounds. Stays with Steamboat. 1.2 on the clock. 38-27. Third quarter action. Piles going to inbound it. Let's see what they do here. Piles, quickly, Gideon, corner, and they couldn't get it off in time. Third quarter buzzer sounds. That'll do it after 3. 38-27, Sailors down by 11 points here. Ryan, I mean, what do they need to do? They're not out of the game, but they're also just in the thick of everything, trying to find their groove, trying to find their rapport, just haven't been able to get hot here today. What do you do if you're Coach Vandal? What do you say in this situation?
I mean, yeah, an 11-point game, they're not out of it by any stretch. We've seen them have 20, 25-point quarters, things along those lines. So they are by no means out of the game, and I think Coach Vandal is relaying that to them. He's saying, yeah, we didn't come out doing exactly like what we wanted to do, but right now is the time to correct that, and I'm sure he's going to dig into his bag of sets because, I mean, we've seen them bring out a few of their favorite sets tonight, especially the one Kate refers to as, quote, nasty play called 47, and as we saw, it got Connor Hansen a wide open 3, and he hit it, and those are the type of sets that you need to be running just to even get your motion started, because sometimes against that zone you end up getting a little stagnant. People just start standing, watching everybody, and that's when Glenwood really strikes. That's when they've gotten those turnovers.
Defensively, Ryan, if you're the Sailors, who are you keying in on this Glenwood team down the stretch here in crunch time? Who do you not want to be shooting the ball?
We saw Mitchell Burt stripe 2 threes that were contested right in the face of a Sailors defender, so obviously you want to take him away, but this game, Patrick Young kind of coming out of nowhere and really dropping some points down, but obviously John Yulee on the fast break having the biggest effect right now.
Young goes up for the layup, and he's going to get fouled. This time it goes against the freshman Gideon, his first of the game. Sailors with 7:29 to play in this one, down 38-27, 11-point game. Young misses the first free throw. If you're the Sailors, it's time to focus up and execute down the stretch here. This is where teams do or die in the fourth quarter, Ryan. This is how you know your team is solid. If you can come back from 11 in the fourth, that would be huge. Sailors need some work on the offensive end. Piles to Gideon. Outside Hansen. Hansen drives the baseline, and his shot is going to be rejected into the arms of Navarez. Referee timeout. Patrick Young looks to be a little bit shaken up on the play. He's shaking his head, saying he doesn't want to come out of the game. Refs having some words with each other now. And curious as to what they're discussing here. Looks like Blake Niels-Lannick's going to check in the game. And Young will take a seat on the bench. So he looks like he just got the wind knocked out of him there by Hansen going up for that layup. They touched bodies, got physical there under the rack, so a sub comes in for him. Here's Yulee. Yulee over to Patrick Young. Young with Hansen in his face. Can he get a steal? Almost does. And it's pulled away by Navarez. Navarez now going to send it back outside to Yulee, driving in, and the travel called there. So the Sailors have forced 3 travels in this game now. Big time for them as they're going to get a takeaway and a chance on offense. Got to capitalize, though, if you're the Sailors. Every opportunity you get, especially down by 12 in the fourth quarter. And there you go. That's the type of things that lose games. Hansen and Piles, just a miscommunication, and you bet they're going to hear it from that Glenwood student section as they love watching the Sailors struggle here in the hostile environment. Another takeaway here. Lindquist can't palm it. And now a timeout from the Demons. 6:29 to play in this one. Sailors down 39-27. Want to take time to say another shout out from some of our sponsors here on 105.7 KTYV. For Ryan Hansen and Lone Epstein, also on the World Wide Web at steamboatradio.com.
Celebrations, formerly in celebration of kids, is fun for kids of all ages. Check out the brand new arcade game 1,600 square foot candy store and 25 flavors of Hawaiian shaved ice plus more. Schedule your party today at SteamboatCelebrations.com. Hot Stuff Hearth and Home is locally owned and operated, featuring all things heat, fireplaces, stoves, outdoor living, and more, and always quality, expert service. Steamboat Resorts by Wyndham Vacation Rentals. Friends coming to town, call us at 970-879-8000 for the Locals Connection discount. Yampa Valley Bank, the Yampa Valley's only locally owned bank, member FDIC. Alpine Lumber, employer-owned and operated, the contractor's choice, the homeowner's friend. Mountain View Car Wash, helping the sailors clean the competition between town and McDonald's on Highway 40. Russell's Auto Salon, your premier full-service auto body shop where you always meet by accident. Russell's Auto Salon, 879-1515.
Again, that's 879-1515 for Russell's Auto Salon. Sailors coming out of the timeout here down in the fourth quarter, 39-27. Time to put the sidewinders on and buckle down. Hoodie up, stay strapped in, whatever you got to do to get focused, Ryan. Sailors have got to get in their bag as Mitchell Burt has been in his all night. Baseline jumper, that one's good for the kid. Number 4 for the Demons. Here's Piles on the other end, driving in with his left hand, shoots it into the corner. Hanson tees up the 3. That one is going to be too strong. Gideon gets the board, finds Hanson again, puts up a shot. No foul there. And his arm got schwacked on that one. I thought they were going to blow a whistle. And now Hanson gets crossed up. And now Hanson's going to foul. And now Hanson's going to hear it from Young. And Hanson clapping in the face of A.J. Adams. This game's getting chippy down the stretch. Pushing call on Hanson. And now we're going to see Patrick Young cradle it in front of Hanson as if he's calling Hanson a baby when he does that. Did you see him go like this? He did the cradle move, and now Hanson's going to have a seat on the bench. Some words from Coach Vandal. Parker Lindquist going to come out of the game as well. Sailors need a stop. So it's Patrick Young, guarded by Lindquist. In the corner we go. He finds Yulee. Yulee gets it stolen away, and that's a big-time play from the senior Dawson Lindquist as he pickpocketed Yulee in the corner. Piles to Lindquist in the offensive end. Reach-in call going to go against John Yulee. So the third foul on Yulee. Sailors down 41-27. You need a big-time shot here. Piles bounce pass, finds Gideon. Gideon at the top of the key. He'll get teed up by Mitchell Burt. Bounce pass to Kreisig, and man, it's just frustrating to see the Sailors playing like this. I'm not sure what the issue is, Ryan. Yeah. Is it just a lack of focus, a lack of communication, or what? I'm not sure. And now another timeout called by Glenwood as they're going to have a word with head coach Fred Heisel.
Yeah, that Glenwood defense, that Glenwood zone defense, to be more specific, is really stifling the Sailors. A lot of old basketball fans not a fan of the zone defense because they say it doesn't get you that involved. They say it doesn't take that much effort. But I mean, when you do it as good as Glenwood does, do you need to put in that much effort on defense? I guess not really, because as you can see, 41-27 doesn't really matter here. They're up 14. Against the Sailors 14. Yeah, exactly.
So a 14-point ball game midst of the fourth quarter. Excuse me. Sailors looking to catch fire here late. We'll see if that's possible. John Yulee going to inbound it here. Yulee, little give and go from him and Navarez. He'll get guarded by Lindquist. Yulee going to take the baseline, and a charge called here against Metzler. So Jackson Metzler doing a good job taking the offensive foul, and that shows a lot of poise and a lot of intelligence from the junior. Soft-spoken player on this team, doesn't say a lot, but he definitely shows up when it's needed. Gideon now trying to answer. On offense for the Sailors, Lindquist splits the defense, comes in. He'll post up. Kick it out to Metzler again, finds Kreisig, turnaround Jay, too strong off the back iron. 4:46 to go in this one. 41-27. Into the corner. Mitchell Burt, 3-ball on the way. No good, pulled down by Lindquist. All the way. Connor Hansen with the fast break layup. And now Coach Van Dahl is going to take a timeout. 41-29 now. 4.5 to play, so this one getting interesting, Ryan, as the Sailors need to continue to push the ball and try to stop Glenwood as much as they can.
Yeah, I like what you said right there. Pushing the ball is a huge key for them. One thing that I know you really liked was when Dawson Lindquist, for the first time, really just drove right down the middle of the lane and just took the contact and got that layup. I mean, that's one thing that we don't usually see that often from the Sailors team. We'll see Ethan Piles, Dawson Lindquist, some players here and there hit a nice slashing move, but pushing the ball up, getting past that Glenwood zone, getting behind them is going to be a huge key for the Sailors, because if you don't let that zone set up, then they're going to be doing a whole lot of scrambling. So pushing the ball is a very good thing to focus on, man.
4:33 to go in this one. Sailors trailing by 12. 41-29. Couple big-time shots, and you're right back in it. Couple big-time turnovers, and this one's over. Sailors teetering on the edge of duality here as their destiny lies ahead of them. Sailors looking to draw back on defense and come away with a takeaway here. Here's John Yulee. Yulee brings it beyond midcourt. Finds Mitchell Burt. Stop and go play here. Back to Yulee, top of the key. He's guarded by Gideon. Inside to Burt, and he'll shoot two. Missed the layup, though. And that's a lucky break for the Sailors. Burt's still going to have an opportunity here at the stripe. Mitchell Burt quietly been the hometown hero for this Glenwood team. Him and John Yulee. I know you made a notion of that fact earlier, Ryan. Those two have been getting it done for this Glenwood team, and Mitchell Burt misses the free throw. He's going to have one more. So Burt at the line. One more for him. 41-29. Sailors down. Second one from Burt. That one goes. 4:17 to play. Here's Piles. Piles driving in behind the back, and it's stolen away. It's home run ball to Yulee, and Yulee takes it from the table all the way to the rack for two. That's a very disappointing sequence there for Piles, and now he's going to make up for it on the offensive end with the foul on the three-point make. And Piles might put this team back within striking range, as each has a chance to make it a 4-point play at the line. Ethan Piles doing a good job to make up for his mistakes on the previous possession. Big time play from the senior. 44-32. Piles with a chance to make it an 11-point game, and he will. 44-33. 3:56 to play, just about 4 minutes, as Yulee's going to handle it. And a blocking foul called here against Cade Gideon. Got to be very wary if you're the Sailors, because now Glenwood Springs is in the bonus, and Yulee's going to be taking a 1-and-1. That's tough for the Sailors. Not sure what Gideon was doing there. Defensive zone in the press, no reason to get a foul. Luckily for him, Yulee misses the free throw. Sailors back on offense. Lindquist inside, kicks it out. Too little, too late, stolen away, and Young converts it on the other end. Lindquist should have passed that ball much earlier. 3-ball on the other end, and Lindquist answers. Sailors just staying within 10 here, as Glenwood has just continually been able to keep them within arm's distance. Here's Yulee to the rack, and he missed it. And a late whistle. Is it going to be a foul? It's a pushing call Glenwood. So it goes against Patrick Young. Interesting call there. So the Sailors have it back on offense. It's a 10-point game. Piles reaches back like 1-3. He drives in like 5. And a missed shot there. Piles got it blocked. He's enjoying himself. Smiling on the floor. Steps out. Corrals the inbounds pass. 3-ball too short. And a foul was called here on Granger Rowan. Once again, just an unnecessary play. I'm just flabbergasted by the way that this Sailors team just has seemed to not really be prepared for this one. 3 minutes left. There's just no reason for that foul.
Yeah, it's like right at about 80 feet from the basket. I mean, I like the pressure. I think that's really smart because that could cause some turnovers.
I like the pressure.
I don't know about the reaching, though.
Let's take a look at the girls' basketball team. I mean, there's just no reason to play that physical all the time, and now you're sending a great shooter in Will Navarez to the free throw line. You're about to add 2 more points onto this deficit. So that's the way I look at it, fouling 80 feet from the basket like that. Just not necessary. And Navarez, true for both. Like I said, he knocks down both of them. Sailors down by 12 now instead of 10. 48-36. Hansen near side top corner. Inside to Lindquist. Rifles it to Gideon. Back out to Hansen for 3. That one just can't hit, and the Sailors continue their cold streak, which has lasted the entirety of this one. In the corner, it's Mitchell Burt. Back into Young. Young in the corner. Trapped. Timeout Glenwood. 2.5 to play, and the Sailors just have been unable to capitalize. And Eric Pollard still on the bench. When do you send him back in, Ryan?
That is a really good question because you need that rebounding, but then it kind of begs the question, what are you looking for your offense? Because that would be a really solid option to have him there, especially when you're probably going to be shooting threes, have him there for those offensive boards and kickouts, but it's a really tough decision to make, especially as head coach Michael Van Dahl, when you have Jackson Metzler in there playing really good defense per usual. And I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I think this would be one heck of a comeback, Ryan.
Yeah.
12-point game, 2:32 to play, 48-36. Sailors down by 12. Let's see who Coach Van Dahl puts onto the floor for this crucial possession. It's going to be Jackson Metzler, Connor Hansen, Cade Gideon, Dawson Lindquist, and Ethan Piles. And the one commonality I see down there is a lot of good shooters. Look for the Sailors to maybe go get that 3-ball here late in the 4th. First, it's going to be John Yulee inbounding it. Sailors need to get a stop here. Yulee's going to hold it above his head, look for somewhere to go, and he's going to play it inside to Navarez. Navarez dishes it back out. This will be Patrick Young. Young handoff to Yulee, runs into Piles, and they're going to get Piles for the foul. So Ethan Piles trying to be tricky and get the offensive foul called on Yulee. Instead is going to have it backfire in his face. And Yulee's going to head to the free throw line to shoot 2. With a chance to put Glenwood up by 14, it's John Yulee, the senior. Headbanded up like his name's KCP. He knocks down the first one, and he'll have one more. Yulee, second one goes. So John Yulee goes 2 for 2, puts him up by 14, and Glenwood's the first team to 50. Lindquist trying to answer. That one's too short. 50-36. Up the far side goes Young. Another foul called here. I think they're going to get Hansen for the reach. No, they will not. It'll be Lindquist, rather. And Lindquist gets his second of the day. So just like that, the Sailors are going to put Glenwood into the double bonus. And with 2:06 to play, you're banking on a miracle at this point, Ryan.
Yeah, 2:06. 50, I mean, five real quick threes with really quick stops.
Young, again, Got it. He goes 2 for 2 from the line. 52-36. Sailors trailing big here in Glenwood Springs. Hanson to the rack, and he's going to get fouled. And I know this is a game the Sailors very badly wanted to win, although they really didn't play like it. I mean, I'm not going to be critical or anything of them, but this has got to be one of the worst games I've seen the Sailors play all season long, if I'm being completely honest, Ryan. Yeah, I mean, there just wasn't that razz that we usually see them play with. There wasn't that underlying tone of needing to win. It was just a dry, clammy, very underwhelming performance here from the Sailors, and I think that this is going to turn into a rough week of practice for them.
Yeah, because if you think about it, think back to the second game of the Roosevelt tournament. That's when they hit that win streak, and that's when they really hit their stride. You could look around and realize that all the kids were having fun, and I mean, this one, you can really tell that most of the players are having too much fun.
Another foul called here. Piles, hands to his face in disbelief. He can't believe it. As he sends Adam Schrader to the line for another pair of free throws here late in the fourth. And man, Glenwood just time and time again has proven their worth. I thought for a moment that the Sailors were going to come back, but Glenwood proving that they're overly focused. Far from the time to rest now, as Schrader knocks them both home. 54-38. Got to give the Demons props. Metzler in the corner. Pump fake. Finds Piles. He runs off the screen. Baseline. Piles shot blocked, and they shot fouled too. And Piles hearing it from this Glenwood crowd. They're not fans of number 5. He gets up clapping. So Piles is going to shoot 2, trying to get his team to that 40-point mark. First one's good. And this bus ride home for the Sailors is going to be
quiet.
Real quiet. That's right, real quiet as they drop their first one in 6 games. Piles knocks them both home, 54-40, 14-point game. Navarez inbounds it, finds Young. Young outside to Yulee. Yulee up top, back to Young, far side. They're going to bring it beyond midcourt. Final 90 seconds running down. And Young just throws it away. Sailors going to have it back on offense here. No, they will not. So they say it's tipped off the Sailors. Glenwood gets it back with 1:24 to play. And Yulee is going to inbound it here for Glenwood. Yulee finds Burt. Burt in the corner. Rolls it out to Young. Patrick Young inside. Yulee adds on to the high total here. 56 points for this Glenwood team. They've put on an offensive clinic here this afternoon. I'm a big fan of what this team has showed us here today, Ryan.
Yeah, they're not afraid to shoot those mid-range shots. Like we saw them take a couple pull-up mid-ranges that some people would give a look and say, huh. But then you realize that they were shooting those pull-ups because there's someone all the way under the basket, and that's just a smarter shot to take. But, yeah, this Glenwood team really solid on both ends of the floor, really well coached, and pretty deep as well. I mean, you see 4 guys down there with their warm-ups off.
So the Sailors trying to cushion the blow here as Metzler misses a shot. Gideon, second time. That one's good. Let's take a look at this upcoming schedule for the Sailors, Ryan, as next game will be on Tuesday in Eagle Valley. That one should be a fun one. Sailors already beat Eagle Valley once this season. And from then on out, Ryan, it's basically just conference play all the way through.
Yeah.
You've got Eagle Valley, you've got Summit at home next Friday. Rifle Palisade, Battle Mountain. They're going to face off against Glenwood at home on February 15th, which now all of a sudden turns into a massive game because, I mean, that's probably going to be the conference championship.
Yeah, because up until this point, both teams hadn't lost a league game, and I don't suspect that either team will lose too many more. So
the Sailors have a tougher schedule, so let me tell you how it's going to work. If they're able to win out the rest of the conference and beat Glenwood at home on the 15th, they're going to be conference champions. But if Glenwood is able to beat them in Steamboat, Glenwood's going to be your 2020 Western Slope champs, and the Sailors are going to walk home with nothing and hopeful and maybe not even a playoff spot. So a lot on the line for the Sailors in the final couple games of this season. Glenwood will be one of the final two there. Sailors going to drop back to 500. They'll move to 8-8 on the year. Final 30 seconds to play. John Yulee, arguably the player of this game. I think that, Ryan, if I was going to pick a player of the game, it'd probably be Yulee.
I would agree. He just did so much. He's a really, really good passer.
He's a very high IQ player, and an offensive foul called here on him as he gets called for the push. He'll take a seat on the bench, and a standing ovation for John Yulee as he comes out of the game, and in goes Reese McMillan, the JV player. Go ahead.
The Sailors did a really good job, though, this game of taking charges on Yulee to kind of slow him down, or at least attempt to. He had 4 offensive fouls.
And James Bogan makes a bucket at the buzzer. Unfortunately, it's going to be too little, too late, and that'll do it for this one in Glenwood Springs. Sailors walk out of here with a 58-44 loss, drop to 8-8 on the season. They'll take on next Tuesday Eagle Valley in Eagle Valley. For Ryan Hansen, I'm Lowen Epstein. Thanks to everyone who was a part of this broadcast, all the listeners especially, and the viewers like you. Thanks to Monica in the studio, Brian Harvey as well, Vlad and Chase, everyone who made this one possible. For Ryan Hansen, I'm Lowen Epstein saying so long and have a good night.
Steamboat Sailors basketball on KTYV Sports on FM. Brought to you by Steamboat Ace Hardware, Rockford Auto Salon, Mountain Mattress and Furniture.